All right, what we're doing here today is that I got some pedals from a guy. Let me see, I'm so sorry. Michael, again, thank you. I'm 60, not 50, 10 years late, but it's all good. Thank you for the pedals. He knew that I was looking for some gold DX pedals, and that's what these are. And he sandblasted them and recoated them, and they are the DX pedals. I'm not sure if they're repopped or not, but I'm sure that they look brand new right now. But in order to do the paint and the sandblasting, you had to tear it all apart. You have to take the axles out and everything. And did you know that you could tell a pedal if it's a pedal that has any type of shape, that the front half is always facing forward. So if the axle was through this side and this was just the pedal laying around, I would know that this is the left hand side, because this ridge is in forward, and if you flip it around, it's the same ridge. So if this pedal was just laying on the ground, but on this side, I would know that this needs to be up front. So in either direction, that doesn't work. So it only works in one direction. And so this is the left pedal. And yeah, so we're putting it together. What I did, he gave me a baggie of parts, and so the parts consisted of axles, a left and a right, two cone nuts, that's that, right? A lock washer that has an ear on it, so it's keyed so that it doesn't go down any farther, and then your jam nut, right? And you have your kind of like an O-ring outside thing. It goes on the inside. So pretty simple. And your bearings, right? So he gave me a bucket of bearings. Well, I didn't know how many bearings go in each pedal, so I divided it by 4, and unfortunately I came out with 2 extras. Each one has 10. I think each one needs 11 because there are 2 extras. So I am assuming that the inside bearing would need more for more support. So I'm putting the extra one on the inside of each one of the pedals. The easiest way I can explain to put everything together is literally taking some grease. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to stick some grease on the inside of the bearing section. Actually, it's a cup, so it's not even a bearing yet because I'm putting bearings in it. And then what I do is I stick the axle in, and then I take a screwdriver and stick some grease on it so that I can pick these bearings up with no problem. Just kind of squeeze them in there. It's not magnetic, because if it was magnetic, then they want to keep sticking to the screwdriver. So with the grease, I can just slide them off and it works. What you want to do is you want to jam those down there as much as you can. Make sure they're flat. The best thing is that, you know, this is a cup and you have your other cone on the axle, so it should find a flat area and everything should be. But if it doesn't, then you put on your little cheaters because you're old, and you slide this out, make sure there's no bearings on it, and place your bearings down inside. But you have enough grease in there now that they all fit. You know, it looks bad, but oh yeah, and this is the one where we need the extra, so we're going to stick that extra one in there. And that looks like a perfect fit. 11 total in there. Slide this bad boy back in. Give it a little twist. Okay, I'm going to pull this back out again. Reason being, no bearings on there, no bearings up there. I need to put the O-ring in that holds all of them together, right? Then we can stick this back on. Clean it up with a little thing here. And then keeping pressure on the pedal itself, and then getting a vise and then sticking that on the vise. That way you can work on the top section. Again, grease, good amount. Then your bearings go inside there. Now remember, I have one less bearing on this outside piece. So good question that somebody had was, you know, because the pedals are directional, are these threads on the axle on the inside directional? And the answer to that question is no. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, still the same. So don't try to do a left-handed screwdriver on there, because it's not going to work. So you get these down inside there to where they all fit, right? And then you're going to take your cone, right? The cone, regular righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. What I do is I like to do a left-handed turn so I can find the top of the thread, and then do a right. And this one you just want to get finger tight, or sometimes you just turn the pedal and the grease will actually turn the nut. Sometimes. And if you can't get that to go, then use the screwdriver until the grease does, or the bearings start spinning it. And you don't want to tighten this one down too tight, because then your pedals won't spin at all. See, that's too tight, it doesn't want to spin. So you got to back it off a hair. And once you've backed it off, then you put your locking, or I should say like a jam washer in there, and it's got an ear. So that ear keeps it from spinning. Sometimes if you have like a washer and you go to tighten something, it turns the bottom jam nut or the bottom cone at the same time, and then what happens is that it becomes tight. Back off, go backwards a little bit, go forwards, and then this actually is an 11 on the metric scale, this nut. Okay, so it feels too tight to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this off one of those hairs. back the cone nut, then go back to tightening this. Brand new grease. I'm gonna go 1/4 turn more on the cone. Back to tightening again. Oh yeah. And I can't get any wiggle out of that. There's no play at all. Last but not least, hang on. We clean this up because you know they're brand new pedals. Hang on. I'm a perfectionist, so I do feel a little wiggle. So I'm gonna loosen back up. Loosen back up. I'm gonna tighten the bottom cone like half in between the 1/4 and what I loosened. That should be it. Yeah, nice and smooth. You got the inside, and last but not least, we're gonna stick the DX cover. Let's see that DX, brand spanking new. When you ride BMX and you're riding, if you learn any trick whatsoever, you're gonna fall. And the first thing that gets hit are these covers. And there's really no good way of putting them together. You can, you know, but that's what it's gonna look like. Is that upside down, right side up? Nice and smooth. And that's how you put your pedals together. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit your like button. I can't see distance with these these are clicks. These are really cool cheaters. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and we have more. Stay tuned.